Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tabletop Bob. My name is Bob. I'll be your dungeon master for this episode 16 of Curse of Strahd. My goodness, can you believe it? We are 16 episodes in already. We can drive.
Amazing.
Because we're 16.
I got it. I get it.
That means
16.
like, doesn't that mean we've played for almost like 45 hours in total or something like that?
Many hours.
It's like
Many.
2 days.
It'd be anywhere from 32 to 45.
Yep, and in-game it's only been 7 days. Something like that, actually. I don't know. I lose track of the days, actually, in campaigns, because I feel like you play and one day could end up being many sessions, right? Like, it just depends on what's going on. If you're in combat heavy and it's like going through a dungeon, you could be in a dungeon for 4 or 5 sessions, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, it's like you're out of it. That's a month of game time, and it was like an hour in the cave or wherever you were. So it can be deceptive. But here we've actually been traveling quite a bit. Only the last half has really been settling into this crazy place called Vallaki. Welcome to the YouTube chat, everybody. Good to have you all back. We are excited to have Curse of Strahd tonight, but I would be remiss to not mention the epic start that we had to Call of Cthulhu last week, which was our playthrough of Viral. Did anybody get a chance to see it?
I did.
I watched a portion of it.
Yeah, I heard all about it. I was pretty stoked. Sad to be missing it, but love that was going on.
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty cool.
It's so unique because it's not only is it Call of Cthulhu, which is, alone, the horror element to it is so much fun, but the chat was interacting with the game because the characters are viral YouTubers who are ghost hunters, and so they're trying to interact with the chat from time to time. So people in the chat were commenting, we were bringing their ideas into the game, and it's going to get more of that as the Spectra crew, as they're called, go to investigate the next haunt. So we'll see. But tomorrow that's going to air at 8:30 here on Tabletop Bob. And a couple other things too. I don't know if you know this. We have I feel like I do a bad job of promoting some of these things, but channel memberships. We have a few people that have joined the channel memberships already. It's actually quite a growing number, but it's just a way to just, I know some people like to support the channel in different ways, and doing it right on YouTube is sometimes more preferential for people. They prefer to do it that way, not to have all these different other apps like Patreon or something like that. And that's easy. It's just like it's a 99 cents, and it's just you subscribe, and it gives you some perks, little things. I'm not going crazy with it. I'm trying not to make it too complicated, but just basically you get some cool emojis, and we do live plays, so it's cool to have the emojis. They're all the Tabletop Bob artwork pieces. So you can check that out. Again, just another way to support, and anything else to support the channel down below in the description. CJ would be proud of me right now, and Joey would hate me. So thank you if you're watching. So I have a question, though, and this is actually from Vegas Paladin, one of the Patreon members. Wanted a question to this group specifically, and it's a question that actually, when he posed it, I was actually thinking to myself, I've thought about it in different ways before, but never in this way. What is the scariest monster in D&D? And being a Curse of Strahd, this is like, classic horror, gothic horror, vampires, and some of those, things that go bump in the night, the traditional horror things. But personally, I don't know. Maybe we're desensitized in our society to these things. There's like vampire movies all the time, zombie movies, TV shows. None of these things like truly scare me. So I had to think about it quite a bit. And the things that scare me are things that like you can't really wrap your head around. You can't really understand. And so for me, I love oozes, and I've talked about monsters that I love, and it would be horrifying to be killed by a gelatinous cube or something like that. But I think, and I ran this, Michelle was on it actually. I ran in Supernatural 20, Escape from Meanlock Prison. Do you remember that one? It was one of our first episodes where they went into the prison and there were these creatures that like entered your mind and like rended your thoughts and like destroyed you from within. And they were doing it to all the prisoners. And I just thought that would be a horrifying experience to have that, you don't know what it is. It could seem like you're just having nightmares, and then all of a sudden you're sluggish, and then you wake up one day and you're basically a vegetable. It's like all of a sudden this slow demise. And I thought that would be maybe the most terrifying, the mean lock. It's a weird one, and it's an off-branch one, but that was my contribution. So now you all have the hard, decisions to make. What's the scariest monster in D&D? Either you face or you just, whatever. Have at it. Go, you.
I'm ready. I got this. I think, and this is not just a plug for Call of Cthulhu, but I think anything from like the Eldritch realm is always the scariest, and I think it's also like the hardest to play with as a DM. Or like if you're a character with like an Eldritch or it's like a Warlock patron, it's kind of the hardest to like imagine and deal with. But I always think of this really good Reddit thread I saw one time about like describing it for ants. It's like, this makes perfect sense. You can imagine ants seeing like a circuit board or a calculator for the first time. And it's like, wow, that's crazy. Those are some nifty symbols, and like those signs don't mean anything. But then imagine that ant getting like a second of understanding what a calculator does, and then going back to its regular ant life. And for like that brief second, it understands there's like an infinitely more complex world, but it can't do anything. Information has to go back to being a regular old ant.
That's a great and definitely a scary way to describe it, because you're right. I mean, we are kind of like, I'm sure somewhere there's something out there, but man, we think we're the top of the food chain.
We're
Be
just
scary.
ants without calculators.
Yeah, be scary when we find out we're not. What about the rest of you?
Can I tell you one that I think is scary in general, and then one that I'm always scared as a D&D player whenever it shows up?
No, you only get one.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Tell us both, please. And in fact, I'm intrigued by this now.
All right. So the one that I find scary in general is mind flayers. At least the one that I could think of without perusing through the monster manual and giving you a true answer. But I don't know. The idea of something just taking over your mind, and they also look really creepy. They're like squid, weird creatures with tentacled mouths, and
they're kind of like Cthulhu inspired, sure. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I always wanted to know in Icewind Dale what that gigantic, creepy squid encased in ice was, because we could feel it pouring through our minds. And
I can't wait. Can't wait for the reunion.
That's the most that I'll give. But that thing scared me.
Nice.
That was a pretty scary concept. As a player, one of the things that always, and to pile on your ooze thing, whenever I see a gray ooze, I always freak out. And I know it's meta, but I try to stay away from it as much as possible, because I've had weapons and armor just get completely ruined.
Yeah.
Many a times.
Yeah, everybody knows my affection for the oozes. It's one of those things that's like it's like a weird counter to a lot of player builds, and they just are a pain in the butt. I mean,
it can't kill me, but it could really mess me up for the future of the campaign.
Yeah. Well, the bigger oozes will kill you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. As you know.
As you know, yes.
Oh boy.
Yes, I do know that.
Michelle, what about you?
So does Christian.
A lot of people know that.
Yeah, I was gonna pick the low-hanging fruit and say the oozes, but that's been discussed. I guess first of all, I don't know of that many D&D monsters. Like, I apologize, but I am not as with the canon and the lore as you guys are. But I guess if I'm thinking of just if I were to see something in real life, like
Mm.
in this real world, I'm just like doing my day. Here I am. I'm Michelle doing my day. And then a mimic appears, right? I feel like
Oh.
that would be just objectively horrifying. And I see what I believe is just like a regular footstool or like a chest of some sort. And I'm like, this is fine. Monsters aren't real. And I go to open it, and then suddenly it's on me and it's got like 100 teeth.
Hmm.
And I think that would be like a lifetime of therapy.
I'm in danger.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Sure.
imagine just going to open a door or something, like something you do mundane every day, and all of a sudden
Exactly.
it's gone. Your hand is
Give
gone.
give
Yeah.
one anxiety.
Yeah. I think I think that a scary thing is like when horror appears just in your everyday, regular, mundane life. So I think that would be my answer.
I'm surprised you didn't go with the human then.
Oh. Well, I feel like we all just generally understand that those are the real monsters, right? So
Yes. All right, Andrew, let's hear yours.
So I'm going to go, that might be controversial, I'm going to go for Revenant, which is like the spirit of someone who has suffered a cruel and unjust fate, crawls their way back into reality, and tries to extinguish the life of the person who made them suffer it, or persons. And they're pretty much unrelenting. If you kill them,
Wow.
they just go into another dead body and come back. So when I make someone suffer a cruel and unusual fate, I wouldn't want them coming back, and single purpose was to kill me. That would be very horrifying. Just knowing that they're
Interesting.
there somewhere and they want to kill you. And
That
they
is
always know where you are.
That's a really thoughtful one, Andrew. Of course, we finish with Andrew here for some prolificness here. I love it, Andrew. That's great. And I think Revenants, for sure, they are pretty terrifying. They're like, as a gameplay too. Their stat block's no joke for like the CR that they are. They're not bad. So yeah, lots of good choices here tonight. And maybe we'll run into some of these creatures in the campaign. What do you think?
Maybe a revenant.
No.
That sounds like an undead thing that we might run into.
Oh, you don't think there are oozes in Barovia?
I think we've got to
Nah.
run into an ooze.
No oozes.
In Barovia.
In my Barovia.
Yeah, in Bob's Rovia. It's ooze
Oozes.
central.
Bob Rovia.
Barovia.
Bob Rovia.
Oh man,
If an-
that sounds like
I might have PTSD if an ooze shows up.
Bob Rovia sounds like somebody who would be selling something on like one of those infomercial sort of late night. Yeah, I'm Bob Rovia here. I've got a brand new thing here. You're gonna seal all your doors with this thing. You can ride on it like a raft. Bob Rovia here.
Oh, flex tape.
Flex tape. That's the one I was looking for. Flex tape. You can seal
Flex
a
tape.
door and float on it. Bob Rovia.
Best
here.
infomercials. The best.
Okay, so let's play. Let's jump into Bob Rovia. You ready to do this?
So ready.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay. And I just want to. Oh, yeah. Look at this. Feels so good to be home. Here we are. All right, everybody. Well, last time we played, oh my goodness, we had such an encounter. We ended up, if you notice something, I think the viewers may notice this. We're missing Jordan. Jordan's not here today, but that's all planned. It's all part of the plan. You see, here's the deal. The group, after we discussed the events of last session, which was going to the Wizard of the Wines, realizing that this is overrun with blights, all different sorts of blights. You fought druids who seemed to have this army amassed. After countering the druids through various levels of the vineyard, you ended up fighting the leader of the druids in the basement, and not only did you kill him, but you took his staff and broke it. The staff, which they called the vampire's staff, destroyed, or at least made all of the tree blights disappear. You saw shattered pieces of their remains up top when you came to the surface. You do have one of the druids, a female druid, apprehended. She has been reluctant to tell you very much, although you were able to get some information that the gemstones that powered these vineyards, the wine cultivation, have been taken. Some taken years ago by other people, others 2 weeks ago by a scarecrow army, and then just 5 days prior by the druids and their blights. So the Wizard of the Wines is out of wine. Now they have some reserve, but it's not in the quantity that they can distribute to all of Barovia. So other than going to this place called Yester Hill, which is where they're from, this is where your mission ends. You found out what happened, but there's no time for you to go off on this side quest. So we're headed back to Vallaki at dawn. You're headed there because you have to be back in time. You have one more day. You'll have one more day prior to the feasts. So you're going to try to get back as quickly as possible, and therefore Jordan is no longer with us because when you get back, he's going to depart. And we'll kind of touch on that in the game, but Casimir is going to go to his hovel, prepare for a journey that you're going to take when you are ready to the Amber Temple. And that is where we're going to pick it up. We're at the next day in the Wizard of the Wine's vineyard. Now, there's still maybe some roleplay to happen here, so we're not going to cut that off, but for all intents and purposes, you've had a long rest. And should we tell the viewers now the good news?
Ah, yes.
Oh, sure.
We've leveled up, everybody.
Huzzah!
So we are now level, what are we, level 5?
5.
One
The
of
best
these.
level there is.
It's a big level. It's one of those like landmark,
Right.
entering the next tier level. So here we go. We got our roll 20 up here. We are going to roll our hit points. That's the only thing we didn't do. And when you roll your hit points, tell me if there's anything of note that you'd want the viewers to know about your character, how they've changed, any cool abilities you may have now. And I think we'll just go in order here. We'll go Tim, Michelle, Andrew, Stefano.
Sure.
All right, Tim, start us off.
I will roll my D8. Let's see.
Mhm.
Did that come through for you guys?
I
Yeah,
don't see a thing
8.
yet, but
Okay, I'm gonna roll
It
a
says
D8.
Oh.
The
I saw it on D&D Beyond, but not
it came
on
through on
Roll20.
DB. Yeah, we'll do the one on roll 20 so everyone can see. It's a 6 for me.
what was the one on
plus-
D&D Beyond? Just curious.
It
I'll
was an
take
8.
this one.
It was an
It
8.
was an 8. I'll
It
go
was
that
an 8.
one.
Well, if it's an 8, we should really take the 8, no?
I mean, I'll take the 8. I don't want to be that guy, but I'll take the 8. I'm
Well-
not going to complain with an 8.
Well,
I saw it.
I was going to
All
say,
right.
if other people are seeing it, I mean, I know our viewers didn't see it, which is a shame. But if everyone else saw it, it's an 8. It's an 8.
It's an 8.
It's an 8.
Wait,
Uh,
if you
What's
roll
wrong?
on D&D Beyond, I can see it?
I think if you do on the bottom left side of D&D Beyond, there's the option for individual dice. All my attacks and all my features come through, but for some reason the dice themselves don't roll. They don't translate over to roll 20 seamlessly, which is
Okay.
strange.
It must be
Um,
something to do with your Beyond 20 link. You might have to check that.
I'm gonna double check it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And
Um,
let's go to... Oh, and Tim, is Laurent getting anything different this level? Is anything unique?
Nothing crazy. I get my bardic inspiration back on short rest and long rest, and I get a new spell. So
Cool. Anything worth talking about, the spell, or you want to keep it a secret?
it's Bestow Curse, which I think fits really well with Laurent's kind of character.
Mm.
With my cards and my magic tricks and my
Being a
spiritual connection.
Vistani, I mean, being a card player.
A human in a human skin suit with no zippers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I got my Bestow Curse. I'm ready to
That
go. I got
makes
my
it sound
voodoo
like you're a
doll.
shapeshifter when you say that.
Not
like
a
a
were
human.
tiger for sure.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, we'll see. Michelle, what's Dione getting here?
Dione is getting horrified, is what Dione is getting. But let's see. D8. All right, I'm going to do. Let's see if this works. Oh, jeez. Do you see it?
I do.
Okay.
Almost.
Oh,
And it's a
no.
1.
It's a 1. It's a 1. It's a
A
1.
big
it's a 1.
old one.
I didn't see the 3D dice. Maybe that setting's turned off in your settings. Top right. 3D dice enable them all. But the number came up in the chat, and that's official.
Okay.
So we're average now, an 8 and a 1.
So, Michelle, how it works, though, is you're getting your Constitution bonus.
Mhm.
So, what is your
Which
con
is-
bonus? So, what is your actual...
The sum is 2.
doubled it.
That'll keep you safe in the dark.
Thanks. I'll stand behind you guys.
Is the Rogue 5th level a big level? What do you get?
I just got Uncanny Dodge, which
Oh.
actually might be perfect because then I have damage and I don't have a lot of HP to start with.
Right.
Apparently.
It's a reaction to do so. So, when you get hit, you can half the damage of that attack. And then on top of it, you also get, I think, sneak attack bonus goes up, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
3d6, right?
3d6. So that's a nice little bump.
Yes,
Nice
very
little one.
exciting. I'm starting to kind of go into glass cannon territory.
You certainly are a glass cannon. What's funny is you're so rotund for a glass cannon.
Yeah, maybe I'm more the cannonball as
That's-
opposed to the cannon.
Well, I would love to see that image played out. We'll see.
One day.
Rufus, Andrew, what do we got for you?
I'm scared to roll this.
This is the biggest, scariest monster, isn't it? Rolling
I don't want to do this. Okay, I'm going to do it.
For the Gwaindire.
Oh, no. 3.
It's not the worst, Andrew.
But I'm already 2 off the average, so now I'm
Now you're 2 more off the average.
5 off the average. Okay, well I guess it's not a 1. Can't complain.
Can't complain. Oh, you could complain.
That was just not fair. Yes.
Well, what's that total for you now? Is that a 4 or
that's
5?
3 plus 2 goes 3 goes to 5. Yeah.
Okay, so you have a 5 increase for this level, and Paladin at 5th level is a big deal.
Oh man, I never played Paladin before, but you go from like 3 level 1 spells to 4 level 1 and 2 level 2, which is insane. I get 2 free spells for my Oath of Glory thing. I can prepare 4 spells still, but most importantly of all, I get 2 attacks, so I can totally kill even more people.
Yeah, and what's great is that very few, unless you're a martial class, it's really hard to get the extra attacks. Like you have to, if you ever were to multi-class, like if Michelle were to try to multi-class into fighter, it's still going to take a long time to get, to get those extra attacks. So you get that now, and that's something you are going to love for the rest of this campaign.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right, and then we end with Stefano. Stefano, what's Canas getting?
Well, let me roll my hit points first. But I will tell you what I'm getting. Oh my god.
Oh, another one.
All right. Well, it's a 3, but I get 5 hit points.
That's not so bad, Canas. Come on.
It might be my best roll in the last 3 rolls.
Canas, that's not true. You rolled natural 20 when it didn't matter against the Twig Blights.
I did?
Yeah.
Thanks,
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I was like,
Oh, yeah.
all right. So at level 5, all of my spells are now cast at level 3, which is cool. And I took 2 level 3 spells. One of them is tongues, so I can speak or understand, I think, any language, or speak any language and understand what they say. Hold on. Grants the creature you touch the ability to understand any spoken language it hears. Moreover, when the target speaks, any creature that knows at least one language and can hear the target understands what it says. Yeah, there we go.
Sweet. All right.
And I took an interesting one that I had never seen or heard of called Summon Shadow Spawn, which is from Tasha's, I think. Tasha's
So this is
book?
how excited Stefano was. He came to me at lunch the other day, and he had to tell me this. He didn't have to. He could have just been texted me or emailed or sent me a letter in the U.S. Postal Service, but he decided to come see me at lunch and have a discussion about this. That's how excited you are about this, right?
I am excited about it, yeah.
And I can't wait for you to summon that creature for the first time.
It has a crazy ability that is kind of like a double-edged sword. So
I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to seeing what I decide to do with it.
Oh boy.
Cannot wait. And if you can refrain, I think you might. I think Andrew's looking it up right now. If you can refrain, it might even be more fun for you when he does finally summon this thing. So
Okay.
I did get something else that I think I'm pretty excited about. I got another Eldritch Invocation, and I took one called Investment of the Chainmaster, which kind of upgrades Yune.
Oh, do tell.
So,
you didn't tell me about this one.
Yeah. So I'm going to
Why
skip
didn't you
over
let me
one of
know,
them,
Canas? You should have told me. How come I'm finding out now live?
Well, I told you on my, I don't know. All right. Anyway, so this one doesn't matter. Familiar gains a flying speed or swimming speed of 40 feet. I already have that. But
Not a swim speed. Not a swim speed.
Well, yeah, you're right. I can swim now. or Yune, you can swim now. So in addition, as a bonus action, I can take the attack action. So if I have my bonus action available, Yune can make an attack. So Yune can use her action to distract if need be, and then as my bonus action, Yune could attack.
Cool.
Familiar's weapons attacks are considered magical for the purpose of overcoming immunity and resistance to non-magical attacks.
Oh, heck yeah.
If the familiar forces a creature to make a saving throw, it uses your spell save DC. So now it has a spell save DC of 15.
Sweet.
And when
What
the familiar
spells would
takes
it have,
damage,
because it could cast through you, or sorry, you can cast through it, right? Is that what you're talking
yeah.
about?
So the poison damage now, instead of a con save of 11, it's a con save of 15.
I see what you mean. It's just using your DCs for its abilities.
Yes.
Cool. Yune's a monster.
And when the familiar takes damage, you can use your reaction to grant it resistance against that damage. Yeah.
How many hit points does Yune have?
How many what?
Hit points does Yune have?
I think only 10.
Okay. All right. Manageable.
But, if you do 15 damage, then I can be like, haha, I'm still alive.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Surprised you didn't tell me about that one.
Jacked.
Seems pretty good.
Yeah. What was that, Michelle? Jacked?
Oh yeah, I said Yune's jacked now.
Yeah.
Especially since she was killing everyone in the last session.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been working out. You know. You know how it is.
You have a strength score of 6. Yes.
I've been pumping some iron between sessions,
The size to strength ratio for Yune is really off the charts, though.
All right, I will bump that strength to 7.
Don't you dare.
6.5.
All right, 6.5. I'll
Great.
All right, so let's switch over back to our big face view. That's the official term, big face view. All right, so you wake up in the morning, and it is pre-dawn hours. Yevgeny and Zoldar wake each of you up, and Yevgeny does it a little more delicately, like a little shake, a little shuffle, and says, we must get on the road now. It's going to be light soon. And Zoldar, whoever wakes, he wakes up. He's like, it's time to go! And he just grabs you by the collar and shakes you. He'll do that to Rufus. He wakes you up that way. It's time to go, my friend.
Oh. Okay. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm always
sleep
ready.
well. You look stronger. You look like you could attack me twice.
I feel stronger. And I feel the Gwaindire came to me. And I think I can help Davion now.
Oh.
When you rise... Sorry, go ahead.
I said, before we leave, take me to the ruined wine.
Oh, thank God, you're a place to spell.
Yeah, he did. You wake up and... no metagaming here, okay, everybody? We play it true to the role play. You wake up and you see most of the Mardukov family is there. In fact, when you enter into like the vat room that you were in before, that's where most of the family is. They're kind of doing some damage reporting, right? They kind of look and see what is available, what is ruined, and that's where you come in and you see Davion Mardukov, the old man, there with his family. In fact, he's got a few family members with him now. Let me tell you who's with him. So there's Davion. You've got Adrian, the eldest son. You've got Elver. I think it's Elver or Elvir, Elvir. Elvir is his youngest son. Stefania, who's his daughter. And then you have another person who will be introduced as Stefania's husband, Dag Tomascu. These 5 members are all there, and they are helping him picking up barrels and broken pieces of the cooperage that was messed with, and glass. They're cleaning up, doing a damage report, and they see you walk in, so you can discuss.
Hello, Bert people.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning.
It seems like these druids had the run of the place. Ruined everything.
I think the Gwaindire can help with that.
Who now?
Did that show up?
I do see
Purify food and drink.
So,
On
can
one of the
you do me a favor?
vats.
Can you just describe how the spell works? I know what it will do effect-wise, but how does it look?
Oh, you mean
In-game.
describe what happens?
Yeah, like in-game. Mm-hmm.
So I'll stretch out my hand, and I'll say, probably originally, purify, and like a veil of golden mist comes out from my hand and envelopes the nearest vat, and it surrounds the wine. Then the wine starts to bubble and effervesce, and then it calms and everything dissipates, and then there's like a funny noise, like ah, and the wine is clean.
Yeah. So
And
go ahead.
I kind of look at everybody like appreciate me. But I only do one of them because I don't want to use 2 spell slots.
So I will say there's a slight limitation to it because these vats are massive, right? Like you had to go up to
they're
a
bigger
second
than
floor.
5 foot.
Yeah, they're bigger than 5 foot. They are like, let's see. I think there was a description of how high they were. But like even for instance, the opening up top is 6 feet in the air. So they are pretty big, huge vats that you needed to like get on the second floor catwalk to like get on top.
So I'll try and do both vats with 1 spell because I haven't used, and we'll see what happens.
It's a 5 foot cube.
A 5 foot
5 foot radius sphere. Yeah,
5
so
foot radius, so then it would be a 10-foot diameter.
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah. So yeah, you probably could do 1 vat with the spell. There are
So I
there are
get 1.
4. Yeah, there are 4 vats. They're next to each other, but they're not like barrel to barrel. There's a little space in between. And I will say that if you were to cast it, you could certainly get one of the vats entirely, but you wouldn't be able to get all 3 or 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just do the 1 for now then.
Okay. In there are 2 brands. Did you just go to the closest one?
Yeah, the red one.
Give me the red one. They're all red, I think.
Oh,
They don't
right.
do white grapes here. They don't do white wine. But do me a favor. We'll roll a die, D6. If you get an even number, you can decide. Do you want the grape mash or do you want the purple dragon or the red dragon crush? That's the more valuable one.
I want the red dragon crush.
Okay, you got an even
4.
number. Red Dragon Crush it is. You got the more expensive wine, and you have purified it. You heard the sounds, the bubbling. The Mardikovs run up, and they see down below into the vat. And one of the sons, we'll say it was the oldest son. That would be Adrian. He calls down, and he says, "Father, he did it. The sludge is gone. It looks normal." He'll reach his like a little ladle into it and pull out bright red wine.
What do they say to me?
He smells it, tastes it. "It's clean, Father." And he looks at you, gives you the old stink eye first, and he says, "All right, how much do we owe you?"
Well, this one is on the house, so to speak.
Can you do it to the rest?
If the house is Vallaki, then I think that it's on the house.
You think we should take some barrels back to Vallaki?
I
Your
would like,
son.
as a sign of good faith, and to let them know that good wine is on the way.
You can bring it to my son, Erwin.
Anything else we should tell him while we're there?
I couldn't hear you. A little low there, Tim.
Anything else we should tell him while we're there?
Nothing that I have to say. My own son didn't even come with the rescue party.
He's quite busy running an incredibly successful, if not slightly bigoted, business.
Should we mention the gem?
Erwin, Davian was there when that conversation happened. I think you all know the gem.
No, should we? I'm asking Davian.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were talking to the crew. Sorry. What do you say?
I want to know if he wants us to say anything about the gem.
To my son?
Indeed.
Yeah. Tell him we lost another one. This time it wasn't his fault.
Another 2, I believe.
I'll be sure he knows about the other 2.
Tell him this might be the last shipment for a while. Make do.
We'll let him know.
Will you go to Yesterhill to retrieve your gem?
He gets his, like, walking cane, and he's like... He does his best Danny Glover. I'm getting too old for this kind of adventuring.
I don't think that's what Danny Glover said.
Paraphrasing.
You've got this whole family here that can certainly help you recover your gems, right?
He looks to his sons, and they seem to have like their own families, and they say, "We'll keep everything safe here, but we may have to just make do without the gems, Father." His youngest son, Elvir, says.
Well, perhaps we'll find our way here again, and I'm sure that the divine Gwaine Lord will be able to purify another vat at that time.
Yes,
you can't do
barrel this
one-
one, and I'll be back to provide further aid.
You can't do one again?
Well, how many? Remind me, how many are there?
There's 3. There's 4 in
But
total,
one
but
is
one is
empty,
empty.
right?
I did the math really quick. It's like 3,000 gallons that Purify Food and Drink purifies. It's really a crazy amount.
Wow.
I can't. Rufus can't resist. He's like, I feel the power surge within me, and I'm gonna do one, and then the other one.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
You're going to spend all your spell slots?
Well, that's 3 spell slots.
It's only
total.
3 out of 6.
Hey.
Or you could use 1 level 2, and maybe you could get both.
That would be
Does
the same
one level
number.
2 increase the...
I don't know. I have
Okay.
no
I'm
idea.
not doing that because I need to do Zone of Truth later.
Mm. All right, so you purify all 3 on his request, and now you've really turned his spirits up. He's thrilled that he's got at least this big reserve that he can now get out to the people. We'll send this one to Vallaki, and he points to you and he says, "We'll have him barrel him up now, and this one will go to Kresk, and this one, if we can, the village."
Fantastic.
And they get to work. They start moving around, bustling, getting barrels filled. They will, if you wait for them, they will fill a whole shipment of barrels, like, dozen barrels filled with wine. But it's going to take some time.
I was gonna say, are we also?
How
Can we also
carry
have a shipping? Can we borrow a wagon from you? Can we take a wagon from you?
Yes, you could take the wagon and have. He says, have Erwin send someone back with the horse.
Can do.
Of course. He also allowed me to take a couple bottles from the cellar.
Yeah, that's fine. Pick whatever you'd like. They have one of
if
every
I
kind
could,
here.
I'd love to take one of those champagne bottles.
Champagne du Stomp.
Oh yeah.
You could take
It's
it.
just sparkling wine.
Can I take one? Like I say, I would also like to take a champagne.
He'll gladly, for what you've done, he'll gladly give you a bottle of whatever you'd like.
Thank you. I appreciate this very much.
Now remember,
Gives me
this
some
one, he
equipment.
says, this one, I can't replicate anymore.
Oh, I know. So, I understand what you're giving up, and we appreciate it very much.
Tim, I recall you rolled a really high nature check for like the vineyard. Do you remember what it was? Was it a 20?
I can probably scroll back and find out. Really
It
quick.
was like 3 sessions ago. I forget what it was, but in my head and in my notes here, I have that you might know something, but I'm just questioning what you rolled.
I rolled a
If you don't remember.
19 on nature.
A 19, okay.
A little bit last session, it looks like.
Okay. So, yeah, so remember when you were analyzing the vineyard when you first approached, you noticed that the grapes weren't doing well,
Yes.
obviously because of the gemstone. However, you do remember that with the right drainage, with very little sunlight, you could probably have wine growing here. Now, you need some sunlight. It is possible, however unlikely, that if they were to work and like basically renovate the entire place, they could grow wine naturally. But it would take a whole lot of work. They would need more than these 5, and it could take months to kind of do it over a season.
I'm going to take out a pen and paper and my handy dandy blueprints from my forgery kit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll start to draw up these designs, which are pretty sloppy because my intelligence is not incredibly high. I'm no wizard, but a +2, so I'm able to make like a decent rendering of this drainage plan, and I will present it to the patriarch and say, hey, just
How about this then? Give me because knowing about it and then designing the plans are going to be different skills.
Sure,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. You could give me either an intelligence check, or if you have a skill in this, not perception, a toolkit or something. I don't know what you would have. You could use that instead.
Intelligence would be the way to go, I guess.
Okay, go for it.
Oh boy. Uh, 19.
Didn't know you were such a connoisseur.
It's really landscape architecture. Because my parents, who are also humans, were farmers, and so we spent a lot of time designing drainage for our farm in Neverwinter.
It's
because
actually
it's
true.
Neverwinter, there's often rain, so to drain it,
That's a very good point, actually. I forgot about that. Yeah, maybe that's where you get this from. So you drop the designs, and Erwin will gladly accept these. He looks at it, he says, "It could take time, but you're right, it could work. Perhaps if we had a few more Mardikovs here." And he ponders that thought for a minute, maybe contemplating asking his son, Erwin, for help. Tim, good job on that. I'm going to give you an inspiration point here.
Thanks. We will. I'll tell him to. We'll spread the word and maybe send your son back home too. Seems like you could use some help out here, and Vallaki is just so depressing these days anyway.
He'll take the blueprints, roll them up, and in that hour span, it's now dawn. The rest of the wine barrels have been filled, and you have a cart, the horse, to take back to Vallaki. And I will say one thing out of game for a second. If you haven't checked out Discord yet, we started doing something new. I actually forgot to announce it last time, but or maybe I did. I don't forget. But either way, we're doing something different. After each game, the crew here is allowed to do some sort of a write-up. They can post it in the Discord, the Curse of Strahd chat in Discord. It could be anything from like an out-of-game player recap to something that's more creative in-game. Journal entry, a dream, a memory, something that kind of recaps something that happened in the episode. And I think I was doing this in the Star Wars game I was playing in real life. A friend of mine had an idea of doing that. We did it in Discord between sessions. I thought it was really cool. And the bonus of it is if they do that is they'll get an inspiration point. Now, if you look at our house rules, we have inspiration can be used on a reroll on any die roll. You do it after you roll and know the outcome. So it's a pretty powerful benefit. And Andrew has actually 2 journal entries. Is that correct, Andrew?
That is correct.
I was like, where'd you go? Andrew, you've already posted 2, so you've got 2 extra inspiration points at this point.
You can only have 1 inspiration though, can't you?
In normal D&D, but in my game, you can have up to 3 at any moment.
Got it, great.
So you have 2 right now, so use them when you feel necessary. And if the more write-ups you do, the more inspiration you'll get. It ended up not being such a crazy benefit. Like it was good to have some extra luck, but honestly, I don't think it affected the game all that much. And it added that like narrative element to it. So they're already there. Rufus's journal logs 1 and 2. Go check them out. And Stefano's, he's waiting for this next one. He was telling me this next week. It's coming. Is that right, Stefano?
Sure.
He's so excited.
I know. I have an idea of when I do write one, the tone that I'll take with it. By the way, not that it matters anymore because Tim already rolled super well. But I did scroll back to when we got to the vineyard, and Laurent does have a nat 20 on nature.
Nice.
That's why I must have wrote something down. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I remembered it was pretty good. Okay. Well, it all worked out. It all worked out. Tim, you get an inspiration for drawing these plans up and giving it to Davian. All right. So now everybody else, is there anything else you want to do before you leave?
Yeah. Dione was kind of curious about Davian. She wanted to ask him a couple of questions, kind of to the side. I don't know if it seems like there's a moment where like everyone's bustling around and she can just like pull him over and ask him a couple quick questions. If not, that's fine.
What is it, little one? We've got barrels to fill.
Okay, yes, I understand. I am just wondering, you can turn into a bird, right? Just whenever, anytime?
It's a blessing and a curse.
Yes, I was just wondering, you said you can recognize all the ravens who are flying around. Do you, by any chance, have you spoken to them about the ravens who are watching us? We have noticed that there are some birds who are following us as we move around. Do you know anything about this?
Oh, my son. He's a tricky one.
Your son?
I'd be willing to bet that Erwin has sent some of his spies after you.
Why would your son want to spy on us?
Paranoid like his old man. That's why.
What could he be paranoid about? We are pretty harmless.
You tell me. You don't seem like you're from around here.
Well, no, but just because we are not from here, it does not mean we mean any harm. We are just here to help.
There's something about you and your group. Perhaps he sensed the same thing I do. Or maybe he just paranoid.
Davian, there was a strange raven by the bone grinder windmill. I don't know if you know anything about that one.
I'm just
Are you talking about the one that attacked me?
Yes.
I'm just a simple farmer.
Okay, and another quick question. You said that this ability to change into a bird, this has been passed down in your family many generations, yes?
Many generations. Someone down the line caught what's called lycanthropy.
Do you know who was the first person in your family to have this ability?
My great-great-granddaddy, something like that.
Something like that. So you do not know exactly how he came to be like this?
Just the way it's been, and the way it'll always be. There's no cure for it.
Okay.
At least none that I've found. Of course, living here in this place, it's not the worst curse you could have.
Have you always been able to control your transformation between your two forms?
In the early days, it was challenging, but as I matured, so did my control over it.
Fascinating. Very fascinating.
There's a big difference, though, between us And the ones out there, and he points like to the woods beyond the vineyard. He points north, actually.
What is going on with those guys over there?
I'm sure you've noticed the devil has his spies too.
Yes.
They have similar abilities to us. Except they can turn into creatures of the night like wolves.
Oh, puppies. Oh, okay. I see.
And when he says that, you can hear like one of his sons comes by and he goes, "All right, Dad, time to relax. Stop talking about the wolves again."
Okay. Understood. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate your help and your hospitality. And
You're
Dione will
welcome.
just like back off and rejoin the others.
He gives you an awkward stare as you walk away, but then goes back to filling the barrels.
I give him an equally awkward stare back as I like awkwardly shuffle backwards. Like I just don't know what to do with my limbs anymore because it's so awkward.
Yevgeny will come up to the group as you step back with them, and he says, "We must get going. It's late. The wine is loaded, and the sun is already, well, out," he says.
Well,
Let's
we
go,
do
my
have-
friend.
we do have one more piece of business before we leave.
More business.
Well, before the wine had been purified, thanks to the great Gwaine Lord, we were considering
Blessed be his
taking
name.
this druid as a prisoner and blaming the druid for the lack of wine. Of course, now that we are bringing back barrels and barrels of wine, perhaps we have no more use for this druid.
Well, that's up to you. He says,
So,
"I have
to
no
take
desire
this-
to keep her here."
to take this person as prisoner or just put them out of their misery?
I guess the only benefit of having her here would be that she's a bargaining chip were those druids to ever come back.
Mm-hmm. So, would you like to keep her?
What do you think? And he genuinely asks you.
Well, I think that the wine that you have given us will certainly appease the people of Vallaki. So, the only concern is you must make sure that this druid is kept locked up and kept without anything to cast any sort of spell against you. What do you know of magic?
What do we know? And he looks, and they're actually just those are the 5 people that were there. But like I said, they all have families. So there's like the boys have wives and they have babies, and they are all were-ravens. So
Well,
he says, "Were we not attacked by a horde of an army, we can handle ourselves on a normal basis."
well, you were privy to this druid's abilities, so I would say if you are 100% certain that you can fend yourself should the druid gain some sort of way to
He'll look to his
attack you,
sons.
you should be fine.
He'll look to Adrian and Elvira and Stefania, and they'll all shake their heads. They feel like they could handle the druid if necessary.
Teach her your
Well-
language and make her repent of her ways.
Sure, you can do that, but you have your bargaining chip.
Fair enough.
Give me her staff.
Sure, you could take the staff. Mm-hmm.
You broke all the staves.
I'm
No,
going to
just
break this one as well.
just the big
I
one.
think give it to
They're
me,
all
I'll break
broken. They're all broken.
If it's still there, I'll break it, so she can't use it.
All right, you can break the broken staff into quarters.
Okay.
Rufus, any inspiring words before we shove off?
Yes. We go to Barovia, we go to Vallaki now. We must find the bones. Our next quest on the way to glory.
You'll get back to the cart and you'll see
7 hit points,
Casimir.
everybody.
You
Seven.
see Casimir laying like in
Seven,
the
yeah.
cart with the barrels with his hood up. He's like snoozing.
Too much wine for this one.
Just
Typical,
drop me off at the hovel, and I'll manage to get my way home.
Your voice sounds only slightly different, but almost the same.
This
So
is
you,
definitely Casimir. I have no doubt.
This is like when your mom tells you we've got Casimir at home.
All right. Shall we go?
Let's do it. All right,
Onward.
so Evgeny and Zoldar will take the lead. They will guide the horse and the carriage. Evgeny will be on the carriage, and Zoldar will be leading up ahead, probably about 30 feet to 60 feet ahead from time to time. He'll be checking a trail for tracks, and he'll be looking around to see for the fastest routes based on rainfall and things like that. But as we go through, they'll guide you there, and you'll get back in, like I said, the roughly the daytime portion. So you'll arrive to Vallaki just before the gates would close and the curfew would be up.
Nice.
Do you have anything you want to say on the way? Is there anything you want to discuss now that you're away from the Mardikovs?
Well, I want to split off and get Arena from the Dusk Elves.
Oh, of course. I meant like just while you're traveling. Do you want to talk now that you're away from the Were-Ravens?
I want to share everything that I learned from my kind of private conversation with Davian. Just make sure everyone's up to speed.
Cool.
Are any of us? Is anyone here familiar lycanthropy? Is that like a common term that I would know, or is it like some absurd medical thing that I would have never heard of in my time in Neverwinter?
Well, I think everybody here would know you're a adventurer. You would know what lycanthropy is.
Sure.
Maybe you don't know how it works or any of the intricacies of it, but you would know what it is. You've heard of a werewolf. You've encountered werewolves.
Yeah.
Now, the big thing is, what do you know about it? And that would be an Arcana check.
Okay, more specifically, has anyone ever heard of were-ravens? Because that's bananas, right? We've got were-tigers, were-wolves, and now were-ravens.
I've
you
certainly
can have
heard
a
of
werewolf.
werewolves.
Why not a Were-Raven?
We saw a were-tiger, so...
Where'd you see a were-tiger?
Laurent, it seems that we may be encountering many more were-creatures in Barovia.
Thought
As
it was
long as
just,
they're not here creatures.
Yes.
It was just a regular the tiger that we saw, and then we just assumed it was a were-tiger, and nobody ever.
Oh, from
Question that.
Oh, it's a were-tiger.
Rick Tavio's wagon. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Laurent has mentioned it so many times that he's got me even believing it.
That's true. No, because he thinks that. What's your theory? That it's Rick
The
Tavio?
were-tiger. Rick Tavio the were-tiger.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we've never seen Rick Tavio and a were-tiger in the same room together.
You've
I
never
don't
seen
even-
Rick
I
Tavio.
don't think we've ever seen
Or
Rick
a
Tavio.
were-tiger.
It is strange that Rick Tavio is nowhere to be found within the village.
Mm.
What a tiger is?
Well, you've heard though he's reportedly rooming at the Blue Water Inn, which you haven't been able to actually get into really. So, but yes, you haven't seen him at all. Mm-mm.
Perhaps one of you who Erwin likes, perhaps you can go and ask about Rictavio.
Well, he's certainly going to
and-
like us when we get back.
Yes, this is true. And also, maybe you can try and figure out why he might be spying on us.
We should also be wary of what was that hideous, that man with the hideous arms name again?
Isaac?
Yes.
Yeah.
We may encounter him again soon.
I didn't like him.
I didn't like him either.
I didn't like him
Devil
either,
Mark.
Yune.
He was not nice.
Wow, Yune, you are looking buff.
Thanks. I been hitting the gym.
Wow.
Which
Looks
way
like
is which way is Vallaki? Is it that way?
Wow. You gained a whole centimeter on that bicep.
Do you want Yune
That's
to
actually a
change
lot.
into-
A whole
Yeah,
millimeter
that
on that
is.
bicep.
Do you want Yune
Yes,
to
I
change
think
into
so.
a different form, or say an imp form for now?
One with incredible gains.
I like imp form.
Okay.
I feel like people got to get used to Yune's regular form.
Yeah. People don't, even your crew, right? Like
I
most
don't think we've ever seen the regular.
You have. When
Once.
Yune first came out, because Yune had turned into an imp.
That's right.
And I told you all that was my friend Yune.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get Yevgeny and Zoldar up to speed before it happens.
You got to be careful with that thing. People will start to be suspicious.
Well, certainly Yune will stay a raven once in Vallaki. But this
Listen,
place has transformed her.
Listen, not that it is any of my business, but it's probably best that you keep some of these secrets you have to yourself. Some people in Vallaki are not too fond of outsiders.
Oh, we know this.
We're glad to have good friends like you two.
Well, you're paying us, aren't you?
Oh,
Fast
yes,
money makes fast friends.
of course, but... Yes, well...
By the way, that will be 40 gold.
Speaking of friendship.
Speaking of the cost of friendship,
You'll get back to the Vistani camp first, and you will drop off.
Casimir.
Casimir. If you don't mind, I will go get some rest and prepare for our journey to the Temple of Amber. Next
You know that-
time you're ready to go on this adventure with me, just come to my hovel. Find one of the Dusk Elves.
Understood.
I
keep
think,
yourself out of trouble.
yes, it would be good to get some rest. You sound a little funny. Maybe you are coming down with something. I'm not sure. Yes.
It is allergy season, of course.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and antihistamines do not exist yet, so understandable. Okay.
Well, Casimir, be sure to stay alive.
Oh, don't
meantime.
worry. I don't think I have much of a choice. And he'll whip his cape and head off to his hovel. The other,
Rufus will follow.
the Dusk Elves will bring out your crew, which would include. Remind me again, it's Irina,
Irina, Mika, and Anna,
And-
right?
Anna,
Anna,
I think that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Micah, Anna, and Irina. Yep. Okay.
How old does Micah look at this point?
Micah looks like 7 years old.
Yeah, we can drop him off.
We can pick him out yet.
Amazing.
Get him out of here.
And when you approach, he says, "Hello, Laurent, Rufus, Dione, Canas. It's good to see you again."
Ah, yes. Hello, Micah. How does the aging process go?
Everything's very strange. He looks to Irina, and she picks up the conversation. She says, It is really quite unique. It seems as though he's forgotten most of his previous life. He remembers simple things, right? Isn't that right, Micah?" And he's like, "I remember what stars are. I remember how trees grow and sprout, and I remember that rain is always present here." And you can see the ground has been wet. It must have rained a lot last night here. And he goes, "I remember how to break bread. I remember how to tie my shoelaces.
Ah, but do you remember how to fight, Micah?
Well, I don't think I ever knew then, because I don't
Well-
know how."
And I pat Rufus on the back and I say, no better time than the present to learn from a master fighter himself.
And I'll double attack the air in an incredibly impressive manner.
I thought you were going to say you double attack Mike. I was going to say, wow, really?
Micah,
Micah,
I think you are at the age when you start learning to fend for yourself.
He says, "But I can't remember my life.
Well,
I don't remember
it's time
my.
to start a new life with us.
I don't remember my parents though.
We're your parents now.
Well, I think that Micah could have a good life in the church. He could learn to serve the.
Wait, you
local
just said you're the
deities.
family. You're the family now.
We're
I'm
getting rid of
just,
him.
I'm just pulling a Hieronymus and trying to get a meat shield.
Oh no.
Oh, shout out to the Keep crew. Look at that.
I'm going to get out my champagne bottle and say, Irina, we brought you this champagne bottle.
Oh,
so
Apparently,
romantic.
it's a vintage that cannot be gotten anymore.
She's like, oh, thank you, Rufus. And she looks a little, I don't know, perplexed by the gift. And she'll take it though, and she'll thank you and nod and like kind of bow, and she'll put it away into her bag. She says, it's the strangest thing with Micah. I've never seen anything like this. He doesn't remember a thing about his past, yet he remembers how to live life. It's so strange. I feel bad. I don't want to lie to all of you, but I told the Dusk Elves we were fine, and I went with him again to see Vasily in Vallaki. Yesterday we went. He seemed to have quite a wealth of knowledge, and he was perplexed as well. He said perhaps we should do things to jog his memory, or perhaps bring back events of the past to get him to remember his parents.
That may be ill-advised, given his parents.
Well, yes, they
I don't-
gave him up, but they're still his parents.
Micah, do you remember making pies or liking pies?
I remember how to bake, yes, and who doesn't love a good pie? But-
So you're just like your old man. All right, great.
Perfect. Remind me, in my old age, I've forgotten who Vasily is.
The doctor, remember I took him when he was having his vomiting fit when he was 5?
I remembered Vasily as Dr. von Holtz.
Yes, Dr. von Holtz. Although I did learn he's actually not a medical doctor.
What kind of doctor is he?
He's more of a pharmacist. He has all different remedies and... But he was perplexed just as I was.
It is strange. But to get more answers, you know, 2 ladies that we may need to encounter again.
The hags.
Shh. Yes.
I've been hesitant to bring that up. I told Dr. von Holtz that, he drank something. We didn't know what it was. But I didn't talk about
Yes.
the bone grinder. And what was her what's her alias? You told her to call herself something?
Gwen.
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 I've only told them that my name is Gwen, and, well, I have used Micah's name because I was so rushed that day. I was flustered, and I didn't know what to do. I thought he might die. And thank
Well,
you, Nick Gray, in the chat. Apothecary,
I
that's
think
the word I
it's-
was looking for.
I th-
Apothecary.
I think it's all right if we use Micah's name. Micah is a child that we have saved of, no offense, Micah, of no import, where it seems that you are of great importance. So
Perhaps
it would be...
you should all speak with Dr. von Holtz.
Do you think we should?
I trust him. He seems to be a good ally. I mean, he was so nice to Micah and myself that day and kind of eased all of our worries. And, well, he already knows Micah very well. Perhaps he could be someone who could help us with the children.
Perhaps. Well, I wouldn't be opposed to meeting this fine doctor.
And Micah
But
was like,
also-
yeah, he's fun. He gave me toys. I was able to play last night.
Toys from where?
Can I see these toys?
Oh, I don't have them. They're at his store.
Are there any severed heads involved in these toys?
Not that I know of, he says, but what do I know of?
Oh, goodness.
Micah, you're way too young for existential dread. You gotta.
Is there a
count down.
psychologist in this village?
Definitely not.
Well, I know we've been coming up empty on this, but I would like to check the stable where was Annika?
Camilla?
Sorry, what is it?
Camilla?
Camilla. Yes. Perhaps Camilla has left a response to your message.
I went to the stables yesterday, actually. I did quite a lot in the village. I think I'm okay on my own, everyone. I am. I feel confident. The Dusk Elves were a little hesitant to let me go, but I assured them that we would be fine. And I wanted to see the doctor once again for Micah, and I did leave Anna here, though. She was safe. I knew that we couldn't risk anything happening to her and Izek or Madame Vermeer finding us, so I did not. In fact, I didn't see Izek the entire time. But I went to the stables. I checked out the Blue Water Inn. They seemed very nice in there. They gave me some steak.
Ah. How did it taste?
Delicious. Why?
Well, it's not your typical steak that they're offering.
Oh, it was wolf steak.
Yeah.
We have wolf
I had
steak
one.
in the village.
I had one myself. I had no problem with it. Dione seemed to have difficulty digesting it.
Disgusting.
She gets really serious for a moment, and she says, Micah, go on and play with Anna for a minute. And you're still outside of the hovels. So you're still in the Vistani area.
Okay.
But she says, I think I might be happy here.
With the
Really?
With the Dusk Elves or in Vallaki?
In Vallaki. I don't have any tie to this place, the Vistani camp. She says, but in there, I felt like a citizen. I felt like there was safety.
Oh,
There's
we
good
must
people in
find-
there.
We must find the bones.
Priority
That will keep
number
it
one.
safe.
Yes, Rufus, priority number one. And then perhaps I'll be safe and your mission will be complete.
But Irina, what if there is somebody who knows your father and they recognize you?
Eventually, it's going to come out, isn't it?
What do you
I mean,
think will
I
happen
can't
then?
hide my whole life.
I suppose that's true. But I agree certainly with Rufus that there is no safety within this village until the bones are protecting it.
She'll take her sword, unsheath it, look at it, and sheath it again. And she says, well, then let's get going. We have a festival
have you-
to attend.
Good to have you back, Irina. I
That's
know
the spirit.
you spent a lot of time watching over children, but I know that you are capable of much more.
All right, let's do it. Want to go back into the village?
Yeah.
I assume you
Before-
went back to the stables and you did not find any hide or hair of Camilla or any sort
Oh,
of
right. Yes, she
response.
said she said she just double checked and there was nobody there. There was no notes or symbols left, but
Oh, and by the way, I intend to sell them this wine rather than give it to them. So we need to pay the 40 gold coin somehow.
Hmm.
Certainly.
And they make a
Well-
lot of money in that inn.
Mhm.
Mm. Also, Irina, by any chance, did you notice any birds, any ravens following you around? Just wondering.
I didn't really look.
Oh, okay. No problem.
I mean, I
Just
feel like
wondering.
I've seen some. We've seen many, right? Why?
Yes.
Why do you ask? We've seen so many over the last week or so.
Nothing to worry about. I love nature. I love animals so much. I'm always looking for them. Don't worry. Everything is okay.
Okay, she looks at you a little confused, but I think she will be willing to let that comment slide and not push it any further. So she says, "Okay, let's go," and she'll get the kids. The Evgeny and Zoldar will bring you back to the the gate, and the guards let you through. You're with Evgeny and Zoldar. It is getting dark, but it's still, still before as they promised. They got you there before dusk. So you enter into the village or the town of Vallaki on the west gate, and you come up to the church. Is the first big building. Where do you want to head to? Let's bring up our map.
Probably the Blue Water Inn, right? We should
Yeah,
get
we
rid of the
gotta
wine. Get Evgeny and Zoldar squared up.
Get rid of this wine.
Well, yeah, sure. I was gonna just give them. I have the money to pay them, and then.
We can pay them. And then
No,
So
I'll
I'll pay them right now,
Okay.
And
I
then,
want to
we
know
can-
how much we get for the wine.
How much
And then we can
do you have?
give
Canas?
it back. Yeah, 43 gold.
No.
So now I have 3.
Don't spend it all in one place.
Well, I know I'm gonna get it back in spades.
They say, Zoldar says, thank you for doing business. It's a pleasure. This is a normal rate, I promise you. We did not try to oversell anything, but once we get into combat, that is an extra charge.
Understood.
Yes.
Now, again, we expect to be earning that back with this wine, so
Well, that's
Happy
up
to
to
pay
you. They say, we're taking this one barrel for ourselves.
oh, well.
You don't get the 40 gold and the barrel.
That's not
that
what
was
we
not
agreed
our
upon.
arrangement.
There are 12 barrels here.
We'll give you at a reduced rate, certainly.
No,
Let's say
We split this. Is it no?
These-
No.
these are our friends now. Surely we can spare one barrel.
Yes.
Again, if you say we split this, and yet you're not giving us 40 gold for keeping you alive.
The gold was for keeping you alive through the forests and getting you to the places on time.
Okay, we paid for that. So now what is this free wine for?
We fought the druids.
They were noble fighters with us.
Very well.
This man speaks the truth.
Yes, I feel that you'll become valued friends to me.
And plus, you'll get the friends and family benefit next time we go out,
Haha.
which is double the price. But seriously, it will be about the same price.
That's great.
So he
Shrug,
takes,
and then I
one
just
barrel.
shake my head at Rufus silently.
He starts taking the barrel regardless. He just takes it. Evgeny will be a little more gentle about things and shake each of your hands and thank you for a safe trip. And anytime you want to go out, anytime, Evgeny and Zoldar will get you there.
Well, pleasure doing business with you.
And they'll depart. So now it's just
Oh.
you, Irina, and the kids.
Friends, we need allies more than we need wine.
Yes, cooler heads prevailed with you, Rufus. I was not going to let that one go, so thank you for talking me down.
I'd rather give it to them than the people in the Bear Water Inn, to be honest, anyway.
Well,
They did all right by you, I think, right? Like, I don't think you had any disagreements with them, right? They were pretty friendly.
I really grew to like them.
Yes.
Evgeny and Zoldar are the Blue Water Inn people.
No, Lugani and Zolda.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, the Blue Water Inn people have made enemies.
I do I do think that next time we agree on a price before we head out.
Yes.
Well, we did agree on 40 gold before we headed out.
I don't remember agreeing
I
on
think-
any sort of gold.
I think it was
You may have
less,
not
but
been there.
yeah,
You may have
I
been
think,
in the orphanage when I agreed the price.
Oh, maybe, yeah. All right, so we're in the village now. You're here by St. Andrew's Church. Place the player token. I think one of you can move it. Just gonna switch up our music here now that we're in the town again. Okay.
All right, tokens in front of St. Andrews.
Yep, perfect. All right, so you head up to St. Andrew's Church, and there are people gathering for one of the dusk masses. So it's pretty big. You see Angelica. And she'll wave to you, and she says, friends. Everything's been turning out all right. I heard that little girl came back with you, didn't she, Laurent?
Yes. Yeah, we managed to get her out of the orphanage. Things are, things are coming up, Laurent.
Oh, she was an orphan. She was referring to the girl on the Dasani girl.
Oh, yeah, we got her too. Definitely not an orphan.
I did hear, though, that something happened at the orphanage the other day.
That's so strange.
There were some criminals breaking in.
Criminals? At the orphanage?
Yeah, there's still a young girl, 10-year-old girl, I believe. There's wanted signs all over the town.
That's interesting because I heard that the girl was taken captive.
Well, I'm off to mass. Enjoy your night.
Angelica, before you go, could I trouble you with a quick question?
Of course.
Could you just, what do you know about this, Dr. Von Holtz, I've been hearing good things about him, but would love, the local Angela's List chart. What do you think of Dr. Von Holtz?
She says, Dr. Von Holtz. Dr. Von Holtz. I'm not sure. Who is it?
Apparently he's the local apothecary. That's what I was told, apparently quite reputable.
Ah, the apothecary. I don't go there quite. I don't go there very often. Vasily is his name?
Vasily Von Holtz.
Are you saying this in front of Irina?
I was trying to do it a little bit quieter, but not actively hiding it from her. Just
gotcha,
kind of aside.
We used to have an older apothecary, old man Jenkins, but he passed some years ago. I guess it's possible that there's a new one, but I don't typically go to the apothecary very often.
No, I appreciate your insights. All the same,
my healing comes from the Morning Lord.
All will be well.
Yes, all will be well. Mm-hmm.
Well, enjoy your evening mass and say a few for all of us.
I will. Good night. And she'll head into the church.
Looking around really cursory, are there any wanted posters nearby?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. As we're perusing through town, can I just keep an eye out and see if I see one?
Sure.
Yeah.
Great. I just want to see how accurate they are.
Heading to the Blue Water Inn, correct?
That's the idea.
Yeah, I want to look for blonde ladies as well on the way.
Sure.
Of course, to find the bones, of course.
Of course.
Okay.
And Yune is a raven. Yune is an invisible raven.
Do you want her to be a raven or invisible?
Yeah, well, Yune
can she do both? Can she?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, shapeshift into different animals and use an action to be invisible.
Okay, so an invisible raven.
I will double check on that, though, while I'm talking about it.
As you're walking through, you see the residential area that you're in, right? Michelle, were you about to say something? I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. I was just going to say, as we were walking, I'm keeping an eye out for Camilla as well.
Give me perception checks, anybody that's keeping an eye out for something.
Yep.
The 15 for me.
Mm-hmm.
16.
Mm-hmm.
6.
14. I'm definitely looking for wanted posters because I know they're about us.
Mm-hmm. So with the 16... Oh, no, wait. That's a 14 for you, Canas, right?
Yeah. Dione got a 15, but I don't know what Dione is looking for.
Diane was looking for Camilla. Rufus is looking for Camilla, and Laurent looking for posters, correct?
Correct.
You don't see any posters at all here,
great.
but you do know that there was in the town common and the town square, there's posting boards and things like that. That's probably where she's referring to. In terms of Camilla, you don't see her much. You're heading through the residential area, and it's dark out. Most people are preparing for the festival tomorrow, so a lot of people are kind of turning in early and getting their rest. So it's kind of dark and secluded as you see the lights up further ahead where the Blue Water Inn is. The group is walking together, I would assume, and after going a few paces beyond one of the more darker homes, Rufus, you're searching, scanning, and you don't see this, but you're grabbed from behind, and you're thrown off balance. Give me a athletics check.
Athletics, 20.
Somebody grabbed you by the neck and tried to drag you down to the ground. However, they were unsuccessful. You resist, and you do sense, though, that as you turn, someone's there. And Camilla presses a knife up against your throat. She says, "Where did you take her?"
Just as an aside, she's not with us, right? We left her at the...
No, she's with you, I believe. Yeah. Although you were the first person. I assumed you're usually in the lead.
Right.
You were
yeah,
the
that's
first
what
person. So she grabbed you from like behind the house as you were coming.
Can I try and grab her hand as she's got a knife to my throat?
Sure. And you overpower her easily with your
Yeah.
athletics check of 20.
You should have more faith. But did you find anything else about the bones?
Tell me where my sister is now, and she's struggling. She like kicks you in the shin.
She's right
I'll apply some
here.
pressure to her hand. I don't want to break anything there.
She'll drop the dagger in her hand.
Okay. Did you learn anything about the bones?
She's here?
I just walk out from behind and I reveal her.
And both of the sisters look at each other. Andrew, if you let go of her, she'll embrace her sister.
Yeah.
Anna! And Anna runs and gives her a big hug. You know, these sisters reunited.
Touching.
And
Did you see the note we left?
they're both crying. I saw the note, but then I saw you leaving with her. Sorry, I saw you leaving with her. Sorry, what did you ask? You asked, did she see the note? That was the sign in that thing?
The sign that we left in the stable, because we told her to meet us back there.
Right. No, she says, once my cover was blown, I never went back there. She says, but I did find you. But I didn't know if I could trust you. And she's like holding her sister tightly, picks her up in her arms. And she says, I'm so sorry that I left you. And Anna's like, it's okay. It's okay. We're together now. Here, I was holding on to this. And she takes off the diamond necklace and puts it back onto around her sister's neck.
You have to be careful. They're looking for her. The
I know.
orphanage was...
I've seen the posters. I thought you were going to get her out. Cleanly.
She's out, isn't she?
I thought you were gonna adopt her. Wasn't that the plan? She looks at Dione and Canas.
Well, unfortunately, she wasn't there to adopt. She was in a room. I don't think we should talk about this here.
They're right, she says. They're good people. They saved me.
And we were actually doing a pretty good job of getting her out undetected. But, you know, of course, as soon as we left the shed that she was being kept in, LeMaire just happened to be right there. It almost seemed odd. We were being pretty stealthy.
There are very, very strange things happening at that orphanage. Stay away.
Oh, we know the horrors Madame Fromere has put onto the children. But I thought I'd lose you. And the sisters, again, they're just kind of focused on each other right now. Giving each other, sharing things. And
What about the bones? Did you find anything out about the bones? That was your bargain.
Perhaps there's a place we should go to talk instead of in the middle of the village.
Good idea. I have no place to go.
Our place is rather far.
She says, I know where you are. I followed you one night.
Is it
All
quiet?
right.
I look around. Is it quiet here? Is there anyone near?
It's quiet. There's homes. She says, "Follow me this way," and she'll head kind of the roundabout back street, back alley way, and head to your neighborhood.
Okay.
Head along the outskirts here.
Nice.
She knows how to like duck. There's like some guard towers, and there's a guard from time to time patrolling the inside. She knows when they patrol, and it's very routine. What it seems like she'll hold her hand up to wait in the shadows of a house, and then scurry to the next safety, and then finally get to your stockyard.
I feel like we got to drop off these barrels.
Oh no, this is the
Yeah.
perfect for sneaking around with. Come on.
Oh my
11
God, you have the
of wine?
barrels. Oh my gosh.
So can I really quick retcon a little bit of this and just say, I'm just gonna say,
I forgot about the
Wait.
barrels too.
wait, wait at our home. We'll be there soon. But don't try any funny business because this time we'll have someone following you.
Who'll follow me?
Yeah, Canas. Who's gonna follow her?
Yune's invisible.
Speaking telepathically, of course.
Yeah, well, you of course.
Oh,
Yune.
me?
Yes.
What? But I wanted to go to the Blue Water Inn.
Why?
I don't know. I want to see what happens.
I will go. Well, I can't go. I'm one of the only 2 people that they'll let in there.
I'll go.
Thank you, Yune.
But next time, I'm going to the Blue Water Inn.
Fine. I will wait with the children.
Fine.
You can tag along with Laurent.
All right, so Yune will. This is all telepathically, so nobody has no idea what's going on. But she'll follow Camilla and Anna on the way to your house.
I shouldn't have let them go on their own.
They're not on their own, Rufus.
Well, who's gone with them?
Yune.
Oh, of course, of course.
Oh, that is why you are standing there with that vacant look on your face.
It's true. It
See?
must have been like a long pause in the conversation.
But my eyes were like darting a couple of ways because Yune's probably flitting around.
In my head, we were sneaking in barrels, solid, like Metal Gear Solid style.
All right,
Yeah,
so you want to head
Through
to
all
the
the
Blue
back
Water?
roads and alleys. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's
Four
do
of
this
us,
quick.
11 barrels, 2 or 3 barrels a pop.
Let's unload these quickly.
Okay, so you go to the Blue Water Inn. You go to Blue Water Inn, and it's like I said, there's a dinner crowd there now. Some commoners are enjoying their wolf steaks, and you see Erwin at the bar, and his wife Danica in and out of the kitchen. Erwin sees the first crew to go, and who goes in first? Canas and
I'll go in first.
Rufus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, and then Dione and Laurent, are you staying outside with Irene and the kids?
Can I read at the back door this time? Is there like a back kitchen entrance or the workers
There's the
go to smoke?
stables and yes, the back of the inn. You could.
Yeah, I'd like to go kick by the back door this time if I can.
Okay.
Kind of hoping Herman walks out, but we'll see.
And it is here though, Laurent, where you do see the first poster, the missing
Oh!
child. There's no like picture. Obviously, it would be more. It's just words on the parchment, but it's pinned to the door of the side door of the Blue Water Inn, and it's about the missing child and two individuals, matching roughly the description of Canas, and almost identical the description of Dione.
That is
kinda-
wild.
It's going to be pretty obvious that she's the only dwarf here.
Can I take out my forgery kit and just change a few key details to make it look
Sure.
like
What do you want to
anyone?
change?
If it's like a pretty description of Dione, describing like I imagine like a rotund, bearded dwarf, I'll change it to a more Jack Skellington, lean and lanky cut.
So you change like the F in fat to like an E and make it E and lean.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Like chalking an ID in college.
There you go.
Mick Lubbin.
McLo- Dione
From
McLovin.
Hawaii, not Barovia, Hawaii.
Dione
Yeah, I'd like to
McLovin.
like just change it a bit so it's not like it's still a wanted poster, but it's
McLovin.
not a wanted poster for us.
Okay, go ahead. Give me a forgery check. Give me your proficiency, and we'll say dex for art, like forgery, the skill of your hand.
Sure. Dex, you said.
Mm-hmm. Dex and proficiency.
All right. So let's see. This 8 plus 3 proficiency, 14.
14. Okay, it's crude, but at first glance, nobody would guess any otherwise, right? You have to kind of analyze it probably to see that it's been messed with.
Darn teenagers.
You dang kids.
Exactly.
Always graffiti and everything.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right, so you move around to the back. What about Dione? Do you follow Laurent's lead?
Yeah, I'm going to kind of usher Irina and the kids along with us, assuming they didn't go in, and I just want to keep them kind of with as many of us as possible. So we're following Laurent as well.
Okay, perfect. Rufus and Canas, you enter in and you see Danica and Erwin at the bar, and Erwin looks like he glances at his wife, and his wife gives him one of those death stares. Andrew knows what I'm talking about here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she goes into the kitchen. Erwin says...
Wait, hold on. I'm like, Rufus, what does one of these things go for?
The wine?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Didn't you drink a lot of wine in the Gwaindire?
He never had to pay for them.
Everything's so much more expensive here. Like the shield, remember the shield? And besides, I didn't have to deal with the money. What do you think I am?
Well,
Merchant?
you're back. He seems like he was concerned and he really wants the news, but he's like, how is the old bugger?
Davian?
That's right.
He's fit as a fiddle. He's
Family's-
very happy.
You hear him like
fine.
he like exhales. He's like, oh, okay.
And the kids.
We
Good,
also
good.
ran into Adrian, Elvire, and Stefania, and her husband Dag.
I assume they filled in the family connection then.
Yes, they said you lost one of the crystals.
Oh, he like silenced. He's like, whoosh. What are you talking about? Why are you saying this out loud? And why
But
did they
there's
tell you about this?
Well, there was terrible news. They had to fight off 2 attacks, and they lost the other 2 crystals.
Come with me. Come with me. Now.
I'll follow him.
He takes you upstairs. He takes you... There's a stairwell in the place. I think I mentioned it was on like the north side, right? So he'll take you... No, I apologize. No, he's not going to take you there. He's going to actually take you... Yeah, behind the kitchen and into like a tap room. There's like a small little office and desk. You'll see Danica in the kitchen. She is helping with the chefs and things like that. And she'll eye you as you walk beyond into the office space. And he says, in here, we can talk in private. What happened? This is a small little tiny office. There's like paperwork and some barrels of wine, but it looks as though these are empty barrels.
Before he drags us off, I might just step outside and just tell Laurent and Dione, this might take a while if you want to go back to the house.
Okay. Fair enough. What happened?
Well, we got there. It was completely surrounded by these twig blight type things. And we went into the house, no one was there. They were being controlled by some druids, which I slayed. And then
We slayed.
your father, we slayed, of course. And then your father came.
4 of us, by the way.
All 4 of us, as we were much helped. Then your father came from the shape of a raven and all your family. And they told us about the stones, that the druids had taken 1 stone to Yesterhill, and some
Scarecrows.
scarecrows, yes, had taken the others away.
He's perplexed. Everything you're saying, more confusion washes over his face.
There was an attack from a bunch of scarecrows. They took the 2nd gem, and an army of blights took the third along with the druids. So now they are without any gems.
Well, I guess
And
I've got
there's-
one up on my father then.
There is also a drainage issue at the vineyard that our friend Laurent, I know he's your favorite.
He is Novastani.
He helped us. He helped your family get started with the fixing of the drainage problem. It will
I've
be
been
a while.
proposing a drainage system for years now. My father was want to hear it. There's no reasoning with that man.
Oh,
And then some strangers come in and make some suggestions, and of course he tells you all the family secrets, the ravens and the gemstones. What's wrong with him?
Yes, we did strike quite a rapport with him, I will say.
He must have truly been frightened by the attack. Otherwise, he wouldn't have shared that information. And you
I think
cannot share this with anybody else.
that is fine as long as
No, I don't think you understand how serious this is. And he
Well-
grabs you by the shirt, Canas, and he pulls you closer.
hey.
Perhaps
We
if our
have-
friends were to be able to drink in your inn, our lips would be more tightly sealed.
We have done nothing but good for you and your business. Let's just talk.
And we're going to skip to Dione and Laurent. Dione and Laurent,
Attention.
you head back
Waiting
with
outside.
Irina and the kids, or what do you want to do?
Downey, what are you thinking?
I kind of want to stay here just in case. What if something happens? I know that Erwin does not feel very favorably towards us. If there is any trouble, I think it would be good to be back up. What
I
do you
agree.
think?
I also kind of want to shake him down and say, if you're following us, stop. Don't.
Yes.
Can't do
Camilla,
that.
Camilla will interrupt your conversation. Say, "Oh no, come with me! Hide, quick! Follow me!" And she grabs her sister and goes behind the back of towards the stables.
We'll react the same way and try and hide with them.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Irina will take Micah in her arms and follow. And you get back to the stables, and she says, "Oh no, he's here.
Isaac.
No. Well, that I guess could be bad as well." She says,
Who is it?
"Milavage."
I've got the name written down. I know who that is.
He was the
He's a
altar boy.
Vistani.
Or not the altar boy, sorry, he was the helping hand at the church.
Mm-hmm.
One of the teenage boys.
He's one of the
Arabella's
teenage
father?
boys. Huh?
Arabella's father?
Nope. Milavage was the
Oh, Milavage.
17-year-old
Okay, yeah,
kid.
altar
Or,
boys from the church. Yep.
yeah, he's one of the boys from the church. There were two. There was Milavage and
Yeska.
Yeah, I just
Yeska.
wrote, Father Lucian trusts Milavage, return to church, scout, spy, and Yeska was the other one.
Yeska's like the altar boy, and Milavage is like the helping hand, like the handy. I don't want to say handyman, but like he digs ditches and does things that the physical labor.
Yeah.
And she says,
Camilla- Oh, sorry.
"Oh, she just says he's here. He was going into the blue water."
Camilla, why are you so scared of him? He is a good worker at the church, no? Why are you so nervous?
We know each other.
What do you know that makes him so intimidating?
She's like, "He's my ex."
Oh,
That's it?
"Well, no, that's not it." She says, "It's recent. Yesterday."
yeah.
You
Yes,
couldn't
sir.
find your sister or find the bones for us, but you could break up with this guy?
No,
I'm gonna
no, no.
stand up. I'm walking back to the back door.
You don't
Right where I
understand.
was. Right
Yeah.
where I was.
Weren't you like running for your life? I thought you were kind of in a terrible situation. I'm confused.
I am scared. That's the point. When you came to me and told me that you would get Anna out, I was happy. I felt like I was overjoyed. Perhaps
And you wanted a
Milovage
boyfriend
and
to
I
ruin
wouldn't.
that feeling of happiness?
Milovage and I wouldn't have to spend all of our money and get her out. We were planning on getting her free, one way or the other. We were saving up. We'd get her out, and then we'd leave this place and have a life of our own.
So what happened yesterday? It sounds like you are kind of close.
I was about to talk with him and tell him everything you said. And he works for the church, so I thought maybe perhaps he might have an idea, or perhaps seen someone give me a clue. And before I could speak, he said he had the money. I said, "Where did you get it from?" And he said, "Not to worry, that it was a done thing." And then I pushed him on it, and I said, and maybe this is a mistake. I said, "I heard something went missing at the church. Do you know anything about it?" And he got really scary. He said never to talk about it again, and she reveals her arm, and there's like a grab, like a hand mark on it. And it's not from Rufus.
Oh, I am going to kill him.
And I cast message, and let Rufus know inside.
Ooh. What are you going to say?
Well, I can cast it through solid objects if you're familiar with the target and know it is beyond the barrier of, the regular magical barriers. And I'm going to say, Milovage just walked in. He knows something about the bones of St. Andrew. Am I good?
You have more.
We're at back door. Waiting. With his axe.
That's it.
Camilla.
No, Camilla's done. You can't get it in.
Just his axe.
That's a 25.
Which, good luck with that context, Rufus. Have fun.
Perfect.
Had a baby, it's a boy.
Can I respond to message? I forget.
Let's see. Let's look it up. Had a baby, it's a boy.
Here's the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
And does
This
it
is a
have any
message you can
restrictions
reply.
to their reply, or no?
The text, you point your finger towards a creature within range and whisper a message. The target, and only the target, hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
I think he's within 120 feet. That does make sense, actually.
Yeah.
Received. We must interrogate Milosevic.
Who?
Not good with these names.
By the
I was
way,
going to say the answer, but I can't hear any of this.
I actually have a question, Rufus, and this is, or Andrew, actually. It's an Andrew question. I've noticed that Rufus, both out loud and in writing, because you did your journal entries, you spell and pronounce people's names wrong. Is that intentional? Is that like a character trait?
No, I just suck at the names.
It's an Andrew thing? Because I
That's
think you spelled
okay.
Irina wrong, too. It's like, I forget
and
how
I'm
you
scared to
spelled it.
Google them in case I get a spoiler.
Well, how do you spell Milovage?
Milosevic. That's how you spell it.
Slobodan.
All right, cool. So you get the message and you give the response back. She continues on, Laurent, and she says, "It was so strange. He's never treated me anyway like that. He said, 'Don't even bring it up again.' And I got scared, and I said, 'Well, that's it. We're done. I'm getting her out another way.' And he was very confused and angry. He threw things and shouted, and I ran. But he must know something."
Well, you did the right thing.
You are so brave.
And when he comes out here in a minute, you might want to go somewhere else.
Unless you want to witness us being very, very violent towards your ex.
But you're happy. You're more than welcome to stay for.
Eh?
But if not, we have a house. It's lovely. There are no rats anywhere. The neighbor's fantastic, and you're welcome to go there.
Perhaps my sister and I can join up with you. We won't slow you down. We're both very good. We can be scouts. We're fighters.
Why don't we start with the housekeeping? Let's start with the house.
More children.
It's great. It's great.
It's our herd of children.
Arm
Curse of
the
Strahd is
children.
now the Children's Crusade.
Okay, so we'll jump back to Rufus and Canas. And he says, no, you don't understand something. He says, if you tell anyone about us, it could mean the end of any resistance to Strahd. And he says the name openly, Strahd.
Is he still holding on to me?
Well, after you push back a bit, he might let go, but he's still intense and he's in your face.
Okay.
Well, how are you resisting Strahd? Is this to do with you spying? I heard you were like to spy as a raven.
I'm part of an order called the Keepers of the Feather. You laugh?
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, what's your order called?
We are the Grayscale Gang.
That's dumb. All right?
No, I didn't mean to laugh.
That's the stupidest thing
Listen.
I've heard.
No, it's a very
Listen, Erwin.
It's a very pointed name. Carry
Yeah.
on, please.
We were told when we left the village that there may be a resistance forming in Vallaki. I say this very low, very quiet.
Mhm.
And when I heard that, that was what I was seeking here in Vallaki. To join and be a part of that resistance.
And I had to do my due diligence. I've sent spies to watch you from the beginning.
Men, you will know we are fine
What's
and
the-
upstanding.
Was the one that attacked me one of your spies?
He
At
was.
the windmill.
Yes, he was trying to prevent you from going in there.
Ah, I understand now.
He told me that you're probably dead.
And yet,
we
here we are.
He's like, we've seen many adventurers come through these lands over the years. Some good, some horrific, some more monsters than the ones that live here. We had to be sure we could trust you. But there's something you don't know about your friends.
Yes, it seems that you, and certainly your wife, are incredibly wary of them.
And we're going to cut back to Laurent and
Oh.
Dione.
I have something to do before he speaks, but we can come back to it.
Laurent and Dione, what do you
Zone of truth.
Get that baby out.
do? Laurent? Dione? Laurent, Dione? Is something
Yeah,
wrong?
yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
what do you do?
I think, aren't we just like
Now I'm just
Waiting.
waiting for this kid to come out and shake him down.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
I-
not going to go... Okay, gotcha.
I'm not going to go into the restaurant and drag him out kicking and screaming, but I'll
apologize.
happily
Yeah.
wait for him at the back door, having told Rufus that he's inside.
Gotcha.
I've got another message if we need. It's a cantrip. I can keep going all day. We can play telephone if you want.
This will be great. What are you going to say this time?
Rufus.
Wait, hold on.
Laurent.
Did I just make a big mistake? Did Yune go with the kids to the house and they weren't with you?
Well, you know, they started going to the house, and then
We were-
seemingly they just ran into Milovaj and
That's
ran
exact-
back and said, "Oh my
That's
God, let's hide."
That's exactly what
Yeah.
happened. They were about to leave and depart, and so Yune's here, Canas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
made
I
sense
thought
to
you were
me. talking
talking about Irina for a short time. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, that
quick.
was my mistake. That was in my
Made-
mind they were when I said the kids, they were all with them, and I forgot. But it's okay. It worked out same way. They would have
Made
seen
perfect sense to me.
they would have seen Milovaj coming, turned around, and immediately went for the two of you outside.
Is there any part of the stable where we can see the front, like the main entrance?
Unfortunately, no. I could show you on Roll20, but it's like in the back area, so no. But Yune is there, so Yune will do some reconnaissance and say,
Canas, Milovaj is here.
Okay.
You know,
What a-
Milovaj from the church.
Yes.
I just heard some horrible things.
And what is that?
I think Milovaj knows something about the bones.
Well, have Laurent and Dione go infiltrate.
Well, I'm watching him. He's in the Blue Water Inn right now. He's picking up food, it looks like. He's leaving.
Well, quickly, go tell the other two to infiltrate.
Okay, I'm scared.
It's okay. You don't have to infiltrate.
Okay.
Don't be scared. You're buff now. You're strong.
Yeah.
There we go.
all right. So Yune will come out and appear in front of the rest of you, Laurent, Dione, and say, he's leaving.
He's leaving.
Oh,
I'll pull out my my doll that I use to cast communication, and I will start casting message into it and speak to Rufus. Rufus, we're seeing Milovaj. Rufus, we're seeing Milovaj leaving. Going to grab him now. Anxiously awaiting your call. X out.
Keep him in your custody. We will find you.
Okay, so you want to spring into action here?
yes. I will take out a rope and a short sword, and then start heading towards, I guess, the main entrance, probably where he's leaving from.
Sure. Now-
Holding a rope and a short sword.
Like this, like this.
You get to the front and you see Milovaj leaving. He's got his bag with him or something like that. He's got food in it clearly, and he's leaving the Blue Water. And imagine stepping his first steps onto the street when he sees you in the center, waving your weapon and brandishing the rope. He's like, ah, and he runs.
In what direction is he running?
He's gonna head towards the church.
Makes sense. Okay. Wait, Milovaj, I just wanted to show you something cool. I'm pursuing him. Laurent! I'm still pursuing Milovaj.
Is he by any chance within 60 feet of us?
Yeah.
I'm going to cast Vicious Mockery on him.
Nice.
Don't
So
kill
he's
him.
got to succeed on a Wisdom saving throw of 15. Let me know how that goes, please.
He's not gonna succeed.
All right, so he's going to take some psychic damage because now my cantrips are a little bit stronger.
Uh-oh.
Not that strong.
No.
Only 4. Wow, only 4.
Oh, you should be right.
Only 4 psychic damage,
And he's dead.
and he pass out.
And he becomes a newborn.
Oh, not again.
He's telling me he's still alive.
He can't have less than 4 HP. Come on.
I can't find his stat block. Why?
It's okay. I found it. He's got 5 HP.
Got 10. Got 10.
Just want him to slow down so we can grab him. Even a commoner has like 7 or 8.
No, a commoner has 4.
Well, then we'll have to heal him and he'll be fine. Come on.
Vengeance for Camilla.
He goes unconscious.
Oh my God.
Well, he stopped running. That's the good news here,
Just
guys.
catch him.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
I caught him.
His brain explodes.
You give
I
him
caught him.
4 psychic damage, and he like convulses, like seizures up, and seizes up and falls to the ground.
I yelled in the street as Dione's chasing him. Oh, look, a shepherd of the flock that can't even shepherd the heart of one, and he just collapses. I'm like, I got him.
You see some people like look out their windows. Some people that are in the streets see this display, and they're horrified. They start to scatter and run.
No.
What? I just yelled at him. He fell. He tripped. What? Come on.
Well,
I
Dione has
hastily
a sword.
stash.
Yeah.
I hastily stash my rope and my sword. Oh no, poor thing! Oh, you
Let's-
must have tripped and fallen. Let me help you.
We have to help him out. Come on, we're gonna help him out. Everybody, it's okay. We're helping him out.
Just a misunderstanding. Nothing to see here.
Let's
Camilla,
scoop him up.
Camilla, who's very upset because she was totally planning on getting back with him, runs to his side, and she's like, Milovaj, no.
What does Anna do?
Anna's crying. She's just like, "Ah." Micah's like just wide-eyed. He's seeing this murder happen.
He's unconscious. It's not.
It's fine. It's
You look
fine.
back at Irina, Laurent, and she's just like hand covering her mouth.
You have all seen much worse than this. You all live in Barovia. Pick it up. We're going.
She says, Laurent, I think he's dead.
No.
Do you have healing?
I do. We want to. Fine. I'll cast Cure Wounds on him.
Can I put my hand like under his nose to see if he's breathing still?
His wounds are too grave.
He's
He's a commoner. He's a
What have we
commoner.
done?
He's a commoner.
That's not how you interrogate witnesses.
He's a commoner.
This is.
So you walk over to him, you try to heal him, and he's like convulsing. His brain is hemorrhaging in his skull. And I'll say this: you spend a healing thing on him. Because he should be dead, he will give his last breath. And Camilla's like, "What is it, Milovaj? What is it?" And he just goes and he says, Van der Voort.
Does
She
that mean
goes,
any?
No! And she cries into his chest. Camilla
It's
is
the doctor.
beside herself. Irina tries to console her, and she looks up at you, Laurent, and she's like horrified.
Monster.
Honestly, I am. We have to get rid of this body, though, now. This is a bigger problem. Looking around, people are still. He's fine, obviously. We'll carry him out of here, and I'll put him over his shoulder. And not like firemen's carry, but like I've got an arm under his shoulder, and maybe we're doing weekend at Bernie's with him.
There's
We're
just
gonna
like
get him out of here.
There's blood just streaming out of his nostrils.
He hit his head on the way down. He broke his nose. It's
Yes. I'm holding his feet and I'm making it look like he's walking as we're going along. This is normal. This is okay. Nothing to see here.
Canas?
What is it? What is it, Yune?
It's real.
Trying to learn about this resistance.
It's real bad out here.
What happened? Did Laurent and Dione apprehend Milovaj?
It's not going well. Everybody's crying.
Everybody's crying.
Laurent,
I'm
not
about to
Laurent.
cry myself.
Did somebody cast cry?
Milovaj is dead.
What happened? Was it an assassin?
And you're like distant. He says, hey, snap out of it. He says, I have something important to tell you.
Yes, about the resistance.
And he's like, what's going
I've
on?
had our friends.
What's the matter with you? He says, are you all right?
I'm fine.
The Keepers of the Feather, as I was talking about. we keep eyes on spies of Strahd. We're his we're the counterintelligence, so to speak.
I'm going to cast Zone of Truth.
Okay. What is the DC?
Oh. That's Charisma 13.
That's not going to be good for him. I think he rolled a nat 1. All right, tell me the Zone of Truth.
He's not allowed to lie,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Any other restrictions?
He's aware of the spell, and thus can avoid answering questions which it would normally respond with a lie. So he can be evasive, but he's not allowed to actually lie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 15-foot sphere centered on him.
And he says, I thought we were trusting each other.
You said you had information about my friends. We must be sure.
I do.
Well, then let us know.
Your friend. The short one. She has a dark secret.
Yes?
And what is that? Do you know anything of it?
She can take on other forms.
Like you and your family.
Exactly. Except she is a werewolf.
What?
And we will see you next week. Oh.
I hate wolves.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe this?
What a episode. My God.
I'm furious.
I think it's great. You're keeping things interesting.
This is insane. Literally insane.
It's also making me feel less bad for botching that orphanage job.
Well, everybody, there's been a lot of revelations tonight. Things have escalated. People are dying in the streets. What will happen next week when we meet? Actually, I apologize, not next week. We're not going to meet next week. Oh, my God. Everybody's going to be so angry at us now.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. Everybody, we will not be back next week. Unfortunately, I have a big Warhammer tournament that our gaming club puts on. I think I've mentioned this before on the stream. It's a massive undertaking, and the week ends up being kind of hectic. I don't want to miss the Call of Cthulhu because we just started that, but we're going to be taking 1 week off from Curse of Strahd. It actually times works good for some of us as well. To have the little break. Andrew will be in the game with us. So either way, we will be off for 1 week, back again, and we really shouldn't have any more interruptions. I apologize. This is really all on me because my schedule's so hectic. But now we're going to have to wait 2 weeks to discuss everything. What's going on with Dione? What happened to Milovage? What does Vandervoort mean? All this will be explained next time on Tabletop Bob.
He's the doctor, right, Vandervoort?
No, that's Vasily von Holtz.
Oh.
Lots of names very similar in this place, but more to come, and check out everything in the description. Like we said earlier in the stream, we will see you all in 2 weeks. Have a great night. See you on the tabletop. Bye.
See ya.
Oh, slow fade again. Look at this one. Yeah, okay.